River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our Friday episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Indiana Dan here with Mr. Jimmy B. Eric is out sick today. He's using one of his remaining sick days for the year. Jimmy B, how are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just waiting for the Eagles game on Sunday. Maybe watch a little World Series, but I don't know. I got limited internet, so I don't know how much I want to do that.
Oh yeah, that I forgot that first pitch is well, when people are listening to this, the first pitch is what is it? Primetime game, 8:00 Eastern time.
Oh yeah, it'll be today, Friday at prime time, most likely. Yeah.
I figured all. Well, I figured they're probably scheduling all 7 games to not be any earlier than like 6 at the earliest, at least Eastern
Yeah,
time.
I mean, the thing about it is the first game, I believe, is in LA, which means it's 3 hours behind the primetime East Coast time. So it may be around 9. I'm not sure, just based upon the fact that people got to get out of work to make the World Series, stuff like that. So
I didn't even think of like doing that at minimum 4 times. Like you got furthest West Coast, furthest East Coast. Like that's going to be a nightmare to schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
That's hilarious. But yeah, no, like you, I'm waiting. I will be, as Carrie Underwood put it, waiting all night for Sunday. All day for Sunday night, or whatever the lyrics are. But before we have a final 2 cents and a prayer for our Sunday night game, as is tradition on Friday, we have our parlay. And I have this new little legal disclaimer that I will have throughout us reading this. So here we go. Here is our parlay for the week. It has been sanctioned and blessed by Eric. He still communicated with us on this. So, and of course, subject to change. This is DraftKings. We just locked this in on the 24th. Anyway, so our first parlay pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting the Green Bay Packers, and we didn't want to do an alternate higher or lower. 4 points felt just right. It should be very easy for the Packers to cover this 4-point spread. Frankly, I don't believe the Jaguars are going to handle these guys at all. They got their asses handed to them by the Bears, and they only beat the Patriots because the only teams worse than them are the Patriots, Panthers, and Browns. So I think this will be a colossal loss. Let's call it a homecoming after spending a month in London. If that constitutes a homecoming, I think the Packers are just going to mop the floor with them. It should be a very easy 4-point spread to cover.
Yeah, I think so too. Jags are one of the worst teams in the league. Packers are probably, we could argue, the second best team in the NFC. So I think.
Ooh, hot take there. Disrespect to either the Lions or the Vikings, whoever you think is higher than them.
Well, I'm just saying, arguably, you could say that Green Bay is the second best team. I mean, you could put the Vikings up there, and you could put the Lions are the class of the NFC. Like, let's just say they're the number 1 team in the NFC. But
I'll agree there.
I think there's a case to be had for the Packers and a case to be had for the Vikings. So I just sort of say, arguably, they could be. You could argue that they're the second best team in the NFC. But if you feel the Vikings are, I don't quarrel with you. Like you can make a case for both. So that being said, with the Green Bay Packers being one of the top teams in the NFC going against the lowly Jaguars in the AFC, yeah, definitely no problem taking the points on this one.
I am super shocked that this wasn't a bigger spread, like how Tennessee. Oh crap! I forget who Tennessee is playing, but it's literally an 11-point spread. Like, I'm not saying this game should be 11 points, but I'm genuinely shocked this is by less than a touchdown. Like, all the hopium that they're smoking in Jacksonville is really getting to them. Like, this should be a much bigger spread.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I have no problem with taking Packers at -4. So yeah, that's all good with me.
What do just for 2 cents? What do you think of Robert Saleh joining the Packers? In our group chat at the time, I saw that I interpreted it as he was going to be like a defensive, not quality control, because like that's the bottom man on the totem pole. That's like basically an intern. But I thought he was going to be like some sort of defensive assistant. He is, but all his meetings are going to be with the offense. Like, he's going to add a defensive perspective to the offensive meetings, the way that Matt LaFleur described it. So it's a very interesting, and also in his words, a fluid kind of position. So what do you think about Saleh joining the Packers?
Well, I think it's a good move by the Packers. It's an interesting move to have him, be in offensive meetings, basically describing to the offense how you would attack a certain defense. I could see benefits, that being the benefit of having him sit in offensive meetings. Probably, he'll probably, if the Packers have people move on in, their building that goes other places because of how well the Packers do, then that lines up Saleh for one of those top positions to take over. And if the Packers defense, is just somehow not the best, that gives them another excuse to have Robert Saleh take over the defense. So it's good that they have him in the building. I think it's a good move right now that he's not really the biggest part in their actual defense, due to probably some power dynamics that you would have adding him to the defensive side of the ball this in halfway through the season. So
yeah, and their defensive coordinator has been doing not even fine. Like, he's been doing a really good job replacing Joe Barry. So I think keeping him in the offensive meetings, like you, I think that's a really interesting and good move for him, because yeah, if that DC gets promoted, which I'm not aware of any murmurs that he'll get promoted, then he could just go to DC, or yeah, the continued Packers success, Robert Saleh could be up for, well, another DC job, or maybe someone will take a swing on him on head coach again.
Well, I mean, I think at the end of the season, he'll be one of the top names for defensive coordinator for sure. And whether that be, with the Packers or some other team, he's going to get a job as a DC next year for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, on to the next one. Our next pick is I kind of helped spearhead this one. Like Eric set kind of the base that we worked off, but I really pushed hard for this one. Joe Mixon going over 60 rushing yards. I like this because even before you account for the fact that they're in Texas, the Colts run defense sucks. It just objectively sucks. And they're going to get DeForest Buckner back on the line this week from IR, but it doesn't matter. Joe Mixon ran over them in Indianapolis. I don't think history will repeat itself and it'll be quite as high. I think he had like 150. Our statistician is out, but but no, Joe Mixon ran the hell over them in week 1, and I think it's a pretty safe bet for him to get 60 yards again in Texas this time.
Yeah, I mean, Texans good, Colts bad, pretty much, and Joe Mixon.
That's a good way to summarize this game.
Yeah, I mean, 60 plus yards should be no problem for Joe Mixon going against the Colts run defense. I'm not familiar with how bad the Colts run defense is, but I am familiar with how good the Texans offense is. And, 60 plus yards seems like a drop in the bucket for what might actually occur. So 60 plus, right on the dot. I think we're good to go with that bet.
Okay, here we go. I don't have what they gave up. I couldn't pull that up fast enough, but the Colts are the second worst run defense in the league right now, according to ESPN, giving up literally 160 yards a game.
Wow. Okay. So,
So yeah, Joe Mixon going over 60 yards is pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, Colts run defense absolutely sucks this year.
It really does, yeah.
Speaking of running backs, Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown scorer. You bet your ass we are writing this again. They are in Cleveland. Cleveland, I am shocked, doesn't have the first pick in the draft right now. That actually belongs to New England, surprisingly. But yeah, Derrick Henry screwed us last week because he got a receiving touchdown, not a rushing touchdown. But against Cleveland, you've heard me preach before a lot that interdivisional games, like actual division games, weird things can happen. I've tried to always leave in the asterisk of, but not when the talent pool is this far apart, i.e. this game. The Ravens are miles ahead of where the Browns are. Jameis Winston's not going to change that. He's going to throw... We should have put Jameis Winston at least one interception in this, now that I'm thinking about it. But no, the Browns are absolute garbage, and the Baltimore Ravens look like if the season ended last week, like, no surprise, I would have said the Ravens should have been the number one seed. I don't care that the Chiefs are undefeated. In terms of talent, the Ravens are the best team in the AFC right now. And there's no reason to think that, one, they're not going to kick the crap out of the Browns. And then two, Derrick Henry should get us a rushing touchdown this time.
Well, it's an anytime TD score. So even if he scores a reception, TD, we'll have it because it says anytime.
Oh,
score.
I thought, did we only have a rushing touchdown last time? I thought his receiving touchdown didn't count for us last week.
Yeah, if it's anytime TD score, it doesn't have to. It can be rushing or receiving. So
okay, so then we did hit it last week. Okay.
Yeah, we lost Montgomery, Jalen Reed, those bets. But yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, anytime TD scored, he scored a TD in each game the whole season. So might as well ride this train as much as it'll go. So that's just an automatic bet in there. So,
and what a freaking beast he is this year. I don't know. Well, we can pile on the Cowboys when we talk about our game when we close out the episode, but everything not coming up Jerry. Everything coming up the opposite of Jerry Jones this year just makes me so happy.
I know, right?
Anyway, the next game we have on here, it's only a 6-1. So so we only got 3 more to cover. The Kansas City Chiefs, we went alternate spread on this. The spread was set at 9.5 or 9, I think. And we all collectively agreed that this time around, unlike what I was just saying about Baltimore, this interdivision game, we all, without argument, agreed, just set it at 6.5, so it's at a touchdown. Because even though they just got DeAndre Hopkins, how integrated is he going to be in the offense? Like, is he really going to be a spark that Devontae Adams wasn't for the Jets? Like, we need to see how much better the Chiefs offense gets, because the Raiders defense is actually fine. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And then the Raiders are absolutely pedestrian on offense. So the Chiefs are going to win, but covering our butts at 6.5 instead of 9 points seemed like a smarter bet.
Well, yeah, and Patrick Mahomes, even though they're 6-0 now, 5-0, 6-0.
No.
Yeah, like Patrick Mahomes does not look like the typical Patrick Mahomes that we see year in, year out with interceptions, touchdowns, and all of that. So, I 9 is too much. 6.5 sounds like a good, decent spread. To bring it back down to winning by a touchdown. So, I think that's a good spot right there. Once again, interdivision game, so anything can happen. But yeah, Chiefs
And
at
yeah,
6.
the Chiefs, sure, you could argue are. I don't think the Chiefs are as above the Raiders as the Ravens are above the Browns. Like, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's just because of their offense. The Chiefs' defense is lights out, awesome, just as good as they were last year. That offense, if they run into the right defense, is going to cause them some problems.
Yeah. And the Raiders, with their defense, I don't know where do the Raiders rank on defense, because I haven't really been paying attention.
I still have that here. Let's go total. The Raiders' overall defense is. It's not near the bottom. Oh, where is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They are 11th overall defense.
So yeah, so they have just outside of top 10 defense. So yeah, going as far as 9, probably not, but -6.5 sounds like a good, healthy number for the Chiefs to win by.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that was a spread alternate. This next one, maybe I should just go to my other window. Let's share this one instead. Here we go. The next one, the Giants at the Steelers on Monday Night Football, is going to be a bloodbath. I don't know why this is only a 6-point spread. This should be a game where the Steelers put up 30 points again. Especially, well, I mean, if Russell Wilson tightens up his throws a little bit, like he was throwing a bit more ducks than one would want from a starting quarterback, but he was throwing the ball a lot more than Justin Fields. And I don't know, that Giants defense, like, I got a little too high on them 2 weeks ago. I think in Pittsburgh, especially now too, the Giants just don't have a prayer. Give me a reason to think they have a prayer in this game. The 6-point spread seems really comfortable because I think it's going to be a real blowout.
Well, I think the only way they would be able to win this game is if both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields end up, injured or whatever, and they got to put it in third string or something for their quarterback. But barring that catastrophic event, it's easy. Giants lost at home to the Eagles by 25 points. You could say up until that point, the Eagles offense really wasn't all that great, even though they have the top rusher in Saquon Barkley.
It was splashy. That's how I would put it. Your offense is very like splash play heavy.
Yeah. So the Giants thinking that maybe they could hold the Eagles to under 28 points. We didn't really see that, and I think the Giants defense is starting to get exposed, and a team like the Steelers, if they're getting good quarterback play, well, they're hard to stop. So,
well, better than Justin Fields. Like, Justin Fields did a good job at keeping them above water. He was definitely not, I would argue, not a reason they won games. They kind of, I won't be as mean as saying they won in spite of him, because he wasn't too mistake prone, but Russell Wilson is objectively better. He's a better calculated risk taker. I don't know. He just looks like a better version. He's older, but he does what Justin does, but better. And he took down a Jets defense that I'm willing to say is overrated now. That Jets defense is just not something. I think that's bigger than just the defense, though. I think that whole team is toxic, but
right.
But no, they should have no problem taking care of this Giants team. The offense is not going to be out in the field very much for the Giants because that Pittsburgh defense is suffocating. Like,
oh yeah,
they're actually the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. They're actually only the 8th overall in terms of total yards. They're not even in the top 5, surprisingly, but still, they'll still wreak havoc. Because that Giants offensive line is terrible. Like, it's not going to be pretty. This one should be spread out more than 6-2.
I think so too.
But anyway, the last game, we have a 2-pick single game parlay in this, and it's involving your Eagles at Cincinnati, who, my God, you want to talk about a team underperforming. Like, I would argue based on expectations and just their history. Like, yeah, Joe Burrow's been hurt for a bit of his tenure, but he's not really hurt. He's saying his wrist isn't perfect, but I mean, dude, you've been out there every single game. But yeah, they kind of suck. I'll just say it. The Bengals kind of suck. You guys are still kind of reconfiguring it. Like you're not quite at your potential either, but
we clicked a lot more on offense, but one of the things that we relied on heavily during the Giants game was the run game.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts only passed like 14 times or something like that, something small like that. Honestly, if I'm the Bengals, the smart thing to do would be to put 8 in the box, stop Saquon, and make Jalen beat you with his arms or his arm. I think that may happen in this game. And even if it doesn't, the last 3 games, A.J. Brown has had a receiving touchdown, which means Jalen Hurts has had at least 1 passing touchdown. So I think it's pretty safe to say that if Cincinnati is a smart team, which we know they're not, but they could be, they could come in here and say, well, we're not going to let Saquon beat us. We're going to go 8 in the box, and we're going to make Jalen beat us with his arm, which will make this A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, same-game parlay really easy to hit, And I think like the fact that it's hit in the last 3 games, it will continue because, they just can't leave. If they put 8 in the box, that means they got 1-on-1 with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So yeah, I believe
you guys are much better with A.J. Brown. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I still say a little splashy against the Giants until you finally clamp down in the second half and just like finally beat them in the submission. But no, your offense just in general, that's how big a gravitational pull A.J. Brown gives. Like, and yeah, you played a game without both of them and then one with Devontae Smith, just Devontae. But no, I'm incredibly comfortable for the parlay, reeling this back to the parlay. Jalen doing at least 1 passing touchdown. I was cool with taking the over-under at 1.5, but I'll stay safe with you.
Yeah,
just the 1. But AJ getting a touchdown should happen.
AJ getting a touchdown should happen. If you're going to take that bet, you might as well add in Jalen Hurts, one or more passing touchdowns. So,
yeah, and just really I don't know. My faith in the Bengals. Like I was Eric and we were really high on them preseason, but now that we're entering week 8, like I don't know what's going on with them. Like they're not. I'm not a Bengals like real deep insider, but just something's wrong. Like I think Taylor needs to get fired. Like something's just not clicking in the Bengals anymore. Like cool, you beat the Browns, but you only beat them by 2 scores. You didn't exactly beat them into a pulp.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't worry about this game being an Eagles fan. I think you guys will be able to take care of the Bengals pretty easy, even though it's in Cincinnati. I don't think that matters. I don't think the home field advantage is going to help Cincinnati in this case at all. You guys, at least on paper, should out-talent them in this game. And
now that we're getting a better cornerback play from Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Darius Slay, I imagine the Eagles are going to be perfectly comfortable with putting doing one-on-one matchups with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with both either Darius Slay or Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell, I believe, is still the top-rated cornerback and some stats by PFF and some, so the guys, I think Eagles defense is just going to be like, hey, Quinyon, go shut down one of these 2 guys, and Darius Slay will shut down the other guy, and it'll be no problem,
Yeah. I think you guys won't have a big issue with that either. So getting through the parlay kind of as quick as we did. We usually don't get through the parlays this quick, but I am a little glad for that. So we can talk a little bit about just a little bit more mourning on the on our game, and I guess we can preview a little bit of our if I can pull up a preview, some sort of preview on here, I do want to talk about not just licking our wounds with Kansas City. I want to move on, but we're thinking about Dallas. We're on to Dallas.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, here we go. This is what I was trying to pull up here, and I can play with this too. But yeah, no, we're hosting Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Chris Collinsworth is going to be calling the game without Michaels. And really, I'm glad that we can talk about it too, because the NFC East pretty intimately, and obviously we've had a couple real blowouts with them, but we've also had a couple real nail biters with them. And the thing that's really gotten me a little worried about this game is that we're kind of both playing back against the wall. And I think Dallas is more against the wall than we are. Like, I don't know if we'll get to I don't know if we'll reclaim the division unless Seattle loses. So I'll hope that Seattle loses, but I feel like Dallas is going to be even more pushed into the wall. They're 3-3. They just got embarrassed. Mike McCarthy's definitely coaching for his job. Like, Jerry's probably had some really uncomfortable talks with them. Like, this team's got everything to lose. I think to a slightly more like scorched earth degree than we do. Like, we're in a bad spot if we lose, but I think the Cowboys are in a worse spot if they lose. Like, does that make sense? The kind of parallels I'm trying to pull here.
Yeah, I mean, both you and the Cowboys right now are sort of down, of sorts, easily. But I believe Dallas is more of the mess than the 49ers right now. Like, I just Dallas is starting to implode. It's starting to look like, Trayvon Diggs and other Cowboys players are not buying the Kool-Aid from Mike McCarthy anymore. They just seem all out of whack and out of sorts. And I don't, it may be close, but I don't expect the Cowboys to come out on top this game.
I was trying to see if this would expand, but Full Injury Report pulled up everybody, like the whole league. Because that's really, I agree with you that at least from the outside, it seems like that Jerry's kind of imploding the team on himself, like, and just Mike McCarthy's just going down with the ship. They made all the wrong decisions in the offseason, and we're seeing the dividends or lack thereof dividends that's paying now. The offense is non-existent. That defense leaks so bad. Last I saw before we got on here, Debo was looking okay. Kittle was looking okay. Juwan, I didn't see about Juwan though, but if we can get at least Debo, if not Debo and Juan, that'd be amazing if we got them both back. But just having something, because we were just so depleted last week. We were playing with Chris Connolly, Jacob Cowing, and Ricky Pearsall in his first game back from being shot 2 months ago.
Yeah.
These guys have had so little time to form any chemistry or be in real game time motion against a secondary that is arguably the best at playing man coverage in the league. What did you expect? Like,
yeah.
It went as bad as it should have. So obviously all these guys need a really good week of practice, and we need at least Debo to come back or Juwan. Like, one of those two guys has to come back, as Brandon's obviously not. It's already Thursday, so a trade is not going to help us in this game. Like, I don't know. I've seen the rumors of Cooper Kupp and Cortland Sutton. None of that. We'll talk about that stuff if we do make a trade, because we tend to make a trade every year lately. But no, for this game, like, I think Fred Warner is going to lead the defense just fine. The defense is surprisingly healthy outside of Javon Hargrave, who lost a couple weeks ago. Like, outside of Hargrave, our defense is relatively healthy. And Hufanga, not to forget him, but Malik Mustafa's been playing lights out. He hits way better in the open field than Hufanga did. But no, our defense is relatively healthy, so I think we can handle that lack of cohesion of the Dallas offense, fine, but we have to execute so much better against that Dallas defense that is going to give us opportunities. If we can't take advantage of a defense that let the Lions score almost 50 points on them at home in primetime, like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
and that comes with getting at least Juwan or Debo. Like, at least one of those two have to come back. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't want us to be 3-5 going into the bye week, and then Christian will solve everything. Like, no, that won't. Yeah, getting Christian back will be fine, but we don't want to be in a 5-loss hole when we come back and face Tampa, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a must win, but I also, it shouldn't be. I mean, if you get Debo back, then it should be like, yeah, the 49ers should win this game and it'll be all right. But not having Debo, that could change things a bit, but
well, same with Juwan. Like, if we have another game without either of them, we're asking 2 rookies, George Kittle and a career number 3 receiver, to carry our passing attack, and that's not good. Like, no offense to them, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad we have the depth. I see the benefit of Cowing being able to split safeties, and I see Pearsall as somebody that can be a nice complement to Brandon when Debo's eventually gone, but just bad timing. None of these guys have enough. Like, I mean, Connolly's a veteran, but this is Cowing's second game as a starter. Well, no, this will be Cowing's first game as a starter and Pearsall's second game as a starter. And then I don't know. Like, that's just that's a lot of pressure on a lot of people that don't have that much game experience.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just, I think the Cowboys are a sieve, when it comes to defense. And so let's just.
Who's their defensive coordinator? Isn't it Zimmer?
Mike Zimmerman. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So, yeah,
I don't. Failed former Vikings head coach.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer. So, yeah, I think the 49ers should win it. They should be able to score, I think, pretty decently. The Cowboys, since they lost Dan Quinn, their defense hasn't looked the same whatsoever.
No, not at all. Diggs doesn't look like an all-pro. Bland's not playing right now, right? Didn't Bland tear his ACL or something?
I'm not really sure. No, I don't know.
I can't recall. I can't say. Well, I'm glad the matchup predictor thinks that we should we should take them. Yeah. How do you feel about the 4-point spread?
That's probably about right. 49ers are at home. You figure you get 3 points for being at home. So they, it is, Vegas is, saying it's pretty close, between teams. But I think, 49ers getting the home field should propel them to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, we can hope so. I mean, honestly, like, after the matchups that we've had with them, like, last year was a real blowout, but we've had the other ones that we won, and we came out on top at the end of the game, but we've had some real nail biters with them. Like, don't forget that, like, 2 of the last 3 matchups with them came to within a score, and whoever had the ball last, like, if they didn't choke. So that's my only apprehension with them, is how healthy are we going to be? And people watching this will know the final injury report than we do, because we tape on Thursday. But if we don't have a good injury report, like, that's, as is the case with the whole season, injuries are the biggest thing holding us back right now. Like, we're a back half team, but we need Christian back. We need to figure out the best replacement for Brandon. We can't lose any more on defense. We've been floating okay without Hufanga and Hargrave, but we can't lose more on defense. I I don't know. My fear is more of the timeline of us being 3-5 going into the bye week more than can we handle Dallas. I think we can handle Dallas. Just can the injury gods leave us alone and give us at least one playmaker back, either Juwan or Debo? I don't care which one. Give us one of those back at least. And for God's sake, keep our offensive line healthy too. Like, so Mason can run amok on Dallas too.
Yeah. I mean, let's hope that all of that can happen. And if that does, you guys should pull out victory. Probably relatively easy.
I hope so. I know you don't think too highly of Dallas, and I don't either after that Detroit debacle. But again, I just I don't know. I don't. Part of me just can't assume that we're gonna steamroll them. I hope that's the case, but my mind will not let me assume that we can just steamroll them like Dallas, like the Lions did. I don't know. I'm just it's so deflating. I'll feel really good right before kickoff, but I'm just still so emotionally deflated at just not that we lost to Kansas City because I thought we would back when the schedule came out, but how we did was just so like it wasn't even competitive. Just nothing worked on any side of the ball. And the last note I have on that, I don't have it up here, but did you know, based on DVOA, this is literally Dallas, the number 1 special teams unit, going against us, the 31st special teams unit, the second worst special teams. Does that make you worried that special teams will play a much bigger role in this game than possibly in any game before that? Like that big a DVOA difference, or do you not really know that?
It definitely could. You can't ignore that. That definitely could when you have a special teams that good going against special teams that are that bad.
We've had a special team screw up, I think, in every game but one. Like not like we gave up a 40-yard return. Like we've had a momentum shifting special team screw up in every single game against the Cardinals, against the Rams. Last week against Kansas City, we gave up a big return. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was a field flipping return. Like we are really, really bad at special teams defense. Like either punt or kick return defense. I don't know why we're so bad at it. And we decided to sign Anders Carlson, who was terrible with Green Bay last year. And guess what? He doinked a kick last week. So I don't know why we signed Anders. He sucks. Sorry, not sorry, John. That was a terrible decision.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But he did sign a good kicker. He was just so good. He thought he could stop a returner, and he broke his shoulder doing it. So that wasn't John's fault. That guy was just... I don't blame him for trying to make the tackle, but like, God damn it, dude. You broke your shoulder? Really? Like, come on.
Yeah.
We're on our 3rd kicker now. This sucks. The one thing that gave me a headache, we're on a 3rd kicker. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
We can't all be so blessed to have Jake Elliott or Butker or somebody or Justin Tucker, like somebody that is kicking above 90% completion.
Yeah.
Someone that can kick a 50-yarder in the rain.
59-yarder in the rain, so almost 60 in the rain with wind and all of that. Yeah,
that was stupid. I think I remember. I think I was texting both of you.
Yeah, we were all group texting, and
I think I was the first one to say, "Don't worry, he'll make it." Like I was definitely mad when I texted that because we were in an arms race with you, but I was like, dude, he's going to make it. And then I think Eric was like, no, it's raining. And no, just look at the momentum of this game. He's going to hit it. And then lo and behold, he made it.
Yeah. I remember after that, Eric was like, I hate football. He was just like, I hate football. I'm like, boy, man, was that a big kick from Jake Elliott. Yeah.
You guys had the momentum like 100%. Like if in like a video game, your momentum health bar was literally at 100%, I had no doubt he was going to make it. Just the way the game was going, I was like, the football gods picked the Eagles. He's going to hit this.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, man, I think honestly with that, like we talked about our parlay picks, we somewhat said our one prayer to hopefully beat Dallas, even though I'm a little just meh on all of it. I just numb from Kansas City still. I think it's time though. Let's go ahead and give a shout out, so to say, to our sponsors at royalretros.com. What is Royal Retros? It is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. Whether you are a football fan or if you're a fan of any of the other major sports, Royal Retros has you covered. For all of us Bay Area fans, check out the Candlestick Collection. It's curated with the 49ers and the Giants, the baseball Giants, in mind. And when you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports, and it will get you 10% off of your order. Again, it is promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order. It helps us out. It helps out Shady Sports Network. And yeah, just go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. Again, it's royalretros.com. James, let the people know about our t-shirts, our hashtag, all that good stuff.
So guys, we've had this movement going on for over a year now. We're raising money for Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky, basically because NFL owners are not being held accountable to the standards that they are supposed to be. The NFL has said that owner standards are supposed to be greater than player standards. However, it's the reverse. If a player does something, we know about it like that. If an owner does it, a couple months will go by, it'll be a little blurb in the news, and boom, it goes away. Hence, when the Houston Texans minority owner was charged with very serious sexual crimes, plus we know Daniel Snyder made a blackmail PowerPoint. There were 31 teams other than the commies that were on that slide presentation. So we just think owner standards right now are less than player standards, and we're asking for hashtag owner accountability. And to show you we put our money where our mouth is, we are raising money for this Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky. This is our first shirt, the one with the statement, owner standards are less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. You can get that in different colors starting at $22.99. Next up, we have our podcast logo art. Basically, this is the image that you will see on any of our channels, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to us audibly or visually, you will find this logo, $22.99, get you that in a t-shirt, and we have different styles of that. This is our alternate logo t-shirt. I have this t-shirt, good quality, $22.99, different colors, different sizes, different styles. And last but not least, how can you say no to our mascot, a peanut, eating peanuts while cheering on his San Francisco 49ers? $22.99, get you that in the t-shirt. Donate to Mountain Comprehensive Centers today.
Yeah, guys, the link to our Bonfire store, and if you want more information on Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, links to both of them are in the show notes here on YouTube and on all our podcasting platforms. And just to reiterate, we don't want any money from these shirts. We just want to help out some families in need. So with that, there was one non-49ers news blurb I wanted to shout out while I'm also looking at the, if I can find the injury report. But because I did want to see that up to date if my go-to guy actually wrote about it, which he might not have yet. But anyway, Broncos wide receiver Josh Reynolds, I don't know if you saw this, but he was involved in a shooting last Friday. So I don't know why we're just hearing about this now, but he and two other people were involved in a shooting. They weren't perpetrators. I want to make that perfectly clear. They were victims of a shooting incident, and luckily he's okay. As far as I can tell from just this preliminary, the other two are okay as well. So fortunately, none of them died. Obviously, Josh, who knows when, who cares when he needs to recover and before coming back to Denver. But no, I saw that, and I just prayers out to him and his family and the other two people that got shot too. That's just, people say I don't know. I'm not trying to make this a whole gun debate thing, but no, I'm just really glad that it was good news, relatively speaking, that he's okay. Given that it said one bullet hit him in the back of the head, which, good God, I don't know. Someone was watching out for him then,
yeah.
And he got shot in the arm too. So I'm really glad he and the other guys are okay. One of them just got injured from broken glass hitting him, and the other guy, I already closed it. I don't know where he got shot, but it wasn't vital either. So thank God it was good news that came out of that. I don't know if you saw that story earlier.
No, I haven't seen that story, but I'm glad everybody's okay in that situation, and we're praying for a quick and speedy recovery.
Yep. And what I see here, I don't have a formal list. I'm just scrolling through my favorite reporter's Twitter. It looks like Debo practiced. I don't know if it was limited or not, but Debo was out there in pads and practicing. Kittle was back out there in pads and practicing. Still no Juwan Jennings, even though they're saying that he should come back. He didn't practice today, Thursday. So we'll see if he gets a limited in. Kyle's really flexible with letting players practice just for one day and then still playing in the game. So if he suits up tomorrow, Juwan should be okay. But if he doesn't suit up tomorrow, then he's more than likely going to be deactivated, which sucks. But at least Debo and Kittle are okay.
For sure.
But yeah, that's all I got for the news. Thursday Night Football. I'm actually going to watch that tonight. So, but yeah, no, I think with that, James, you want to sign us out?
Outro music, River Road, Justin Youth.
We'll be back on Tuesday to recap the game. Beat the Cowboys.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you